Welcome to Create.Learn.Implement podcast, aka CLI podcast, with me, your host, Coyetta. This is the podcast that invites you to take bold action to become your best self while navigating the world of building a successful business. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. Like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too. So you can get paid to podcast. So when I thought about starting a podcast, I had no idea how it worked. I don't know how I came across Anchor, but I did, and it was free and it was 100% easy to use. And I love to use it to connect to my audience. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Starting a business is hard, but you're ready for the challenge because you already know what you want to do and you're just not sure how to put the pieces together. You just need a little guidance putting together all the elements of your business, because you have the skills, you have the passion, you have the big idea. So what's holding you back? Imagine having a working business model in 4 hours. Well, Business in a Day VIP is a 4-hour laser focused done with you intensive designed to help you lay your foundation of your business, develop your message, increase your visibility, and streamline your process so you're able to walk away with clarity, confidence, and the bones of a fully functional business ready to capture the hearts and mind of your customers. So, applications are open now, only 4 spots available for March. Hope to see you there. Use the show notes to apply. Today, we are going to be taking a deep dive into what is really causing you to lose momentum. It's so important in the beginning stages that you have this, because that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps everything fun and exciting. And that's what keeps you going when it's not fun and exciting. And so this is something that's really deep. It's really deep. It's really intense, and it's really mental. So we're going to explore what's killing your momentum on the other side. This is a very important topic, especially when something is new and exciting. You have that momentum, right? You have that energy. You have the momentum. It feels fresh. It feels, young. It's something that's developing. So you are all smiles about this, right? Now, you know how it feels to have this new and amazing idea, and that's exciting. So, you want to share it. You want to talk about it. You want to look things up. You want to check everything out. So back when I started in 2005, there was no social media. And I actually don't recall if YouTube was around back then. Not sure. So the only thing I had was Google on my side, and y'all know how it goes. You can go down the rabbit hole of information. In Google. And what does it lead you to? And that is information overload. So what's stopping your momentum is information overload, right? So imagine now. So that's just one. So that was back then. It was just Google. Now you have YouTube, you got blogs, you got You got everybody telling you what to do. Everybody has a point of view. Everybody has their perspective. Can you imagine how many different voices that you listen to every day? Different voices, different opinions and energies that you are ingesting, that you are interacting with every day? That's a lot, right? And that's why some of you guys are so drained. That's why some of y'all are so drained in this new era of information, right? You're so drained in this new era of information that it's almost like you're filled, right? You're fat with information, right? You are filled, you are fat with information that you feel so confused. So you do nothing. So let me tell you some of the symptoms of information overload. And some of the symptoms are inefficient work, confusion, delay in making decisions, a lack of critical evaluation of information, loss of control over information, refusal to receive communication, lack of general perspective, greater tolerance for error, anxiety, and stress. So every time you're interacting with information and it takes you to that space where you're like, no more, that is what could be happening inside your body. So what it's actually doing is limiting or impairing your cognitive skills, right? Almost like drinking and driving, right? So what it's doing is limiting or impairing your cognitive skills. So when you are on the internet researching information, interacting with all these bodies, all this information, this person telling you what to do, that person telling you what to do, it could be a whole lot. Back when I started my business, my first business in 2005, it was just me and Google, right? I don't remember if YouTube was a thing. Social media definitely wasn't around. And so the only information I'm contending with is Google, right? The overload of information, and that alone is filled with information, right? Google is filled with information from different sources. And y'all know how misinformation is a big thing. Can you imagine on top of Google now in this era having social media, having YouTube, having all these different voices and opinions coming at you? It could be really confusing, right? So this new era is giving you so much information. It's almost like you're fat with information, right? You're fat, you're filled with so much information. You stuffed like a Thanksgiving meal, right? You're so stuffed that you feel so confused and you do nothing, right? And just like I said, it's limiting or impairing your cognitive skills, right? So when you're stuffed, when you have information overload, here are some symptoms, because this is how it can play out in your daily life. Listen and see if you can pick up on something that relates to you. So some symptoms of information overload are inefficient work, confusion, delay in making decisions, lack of critical thinking, lack of critical evaluation of information, loss of control over information, refusal to receive communication, lack of general perspective, greater tolerance for error, anxiety, and stress. So those are some symptoms of information overload. So bam, right there, that's a block, right? That's a block. And as I keep saying, it's limiting or impairing your cognitive skills, almost like drinking and driving. And that's really powerful if you think about it. Have you ever been driving and you're so caught up in your mind that it kind of has you in a daze and you eventually snap back to reality? Like, that's what's happening with you when you are so filled with information. Like, you can't receive any more. Nothing else is coming through. You can't process anything, right? So it actually ends up taking you off focus. It ends up taking you off focus. So it's almost like it's no longer about your business. It's no longer about the business. It's about all the stuff in your head, right? And now you don't want to do anything. phone just died. Okay, we're back to life. So now you don't want to do anything because you don't know what to do with the information you already have. You're so filled with information, you don't want to do anything with what you already have, because it's almost like you know but you don't know. You ever been in that state where it's like you know the information but you don't know? And so what's happening is that you're backing away. You're backing away because it overwhelms you. It exhausts you. It makes you anxious, right? And now your idea, this grand idea that you had for your business, it's all being associated with negative feelings and negative emotions. And that's what you want to stay away from. So now your business now becomes something negative or stressful in your mind, and you don't want it anymore, right? So you've gone through 3 steps. Number 1, you've gone through 3 steps. You've gone from information overload. So that is you looking up information, taking in all these energies from Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. So that's information overload. So that is stopping your momentum, number 1. To now distraction. So now it's no longer about the thing that you were so excited about or got the vision for. To number 3, shame and dissatisfaction, right? So what are you shameful about? Well, shame, you feel shame because you haven't done that thing, right? You haven't done what you said you was going to do. You're ashamed of how it makes you feel, and you're ashamed of what other people think. You told 1 or 2 people about this grand idea. Yes, you're thinking of doing this thing and it hasn't happened. So now you're just ashamed of yourself. Now you're all the way out the game, right? You've been derailed, stopped dead in your tracks. Nothing's happening. Momentum's gone, right? Momentum's gone, momentum's done. So that's what we are doing to ourselves when we overload on information. You are killing your own momentum. I love social media. I love the concept of having to speak to different people from all over the world. But generally, it can be very overwhelming to interact with other people, to see all this information, especially when you're trying to do something new. It can be very overwhelming to pick and choose and refuse the information. Who do you trust? You don't even know, right? And so I have a few ideas to help you keep that momentum, right? Or when you notice you're going off track, here's a few things you can do. I say 1 source at a time, 1 step at a time. So if you find a source, be it social media, internet, that you like or enjoy, keep that. View that information, get as much as you can from that, take notes if you must, and move on to the next step. So just view that one source, one time. Okay, so you're not looking at multiple things. We're not doing multitasking here. We're just going to focus on one thing, because that takes you off your game. Okay. And number 2, so find someone who has already done what you want to do to teach you how, right? So that's the one thing I didn't do when I started my businesses. I didn't have that person. I didn't even know that existed in 2005. I still today don't know if that, someone could have helped me in that capacity. And so that is what you have now that's really different from 2005. All right. The era, this time is so different. We're in an era of information. Everybody knows everything, right? So it's easy for you to find someone that can help you. And number 3, I would say invest in a program that can walk you through. So if it's not a person, it could be a program, a accelerated program, government programs and so forth that helps you get to where you want to go, right? And so I think that's one of the benefit of why I created Business in a Day VIP, because it's a 1-day program that's going to help you move from an idea into a business, so that we're cutting out the information overload. We're cutting out the endless sea of information, and we're going to get your working business model in 4 hours. That is the benefit of why I created Business in a Day VIP, right? So it is a laser focus, 4 hours done with you intensive, where we sit down together and we lay out the foundation for your business. right? So we not only lay out the foundation, we develop your message, we increase your visibility and streamline your process. And I think it's also very important that you know what makes you unique, because you're going to need it as a business owner. So we really focus in on that as well. Okay, so the result is you're walking away with clarity, you're walking away with confidence and the bones of a fully functional business that's ready to capture those customers. Okay, so the Business in a Day VIP is, I am accepting applications and classes, or I wouldn't say classes, VIP day starts March, so only 4. I'm only working with 4 people by application only. And so send in your application. I mean, my goodness, I've received so many, so I still have to go through and approve. But if you are ready to start your business and end the sea of information, and that, that stop and start motion, and just keep the momentum going, then sign up. It's the first link in my bio, Business in a Day VIP, apply. And I have a payment plan as well if that's what you need. So link in bio to apply, guys. I can't stress it anymore. This is how you keep the momentum. This is how you keep the energy. And the sway of information, the lack of information, the overload of information will always beat you. But if you beat it by getting someone who's already been through the process, by taking it one step, one piece of info at a time, you're going to be miles ahead than feeding yourself information from all over the place. You can only eat one plate at a time. If you've ever tried to eat more than one plate at a time, it could get messy, right? So think of this as your one plate method at a time. All right. So for my VIP day, we're sitting down for 4 hours. You're going to be getting your business checklist and goals chart. So that's going to be making sure we've hit all of the milestones that you need to go through, and your goals chart, so your goals chart, so you can set goals for yourself. We're going to have a 30-day follow-up session, nailing your target audience masterclass and workbook, and access to more resources. So link in bio, link in bio, link in bio. I love answering questions. If you guys want to ask me some right now, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. My tongue is tied up today. I'm not sure what's going on. Someone drink some water. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. Ooh, thirsty. Feel free to ask them, and I will answer for you. All right, guys, my DM is actually always open for questions, so feel free to drop them in my DM if you have any. And as I said, link in bio to sign up for Business in a Day VIP. And thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in to another great episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, as all these things help to keep the podcast alive. Take care. Until next time.